people, welcome back to the YouTube. I can't remember the last one was, but we're going up to the office and we're going to talk about the plan of this now. Been a while since I've made one of these, but this year has been huge. Big challenges, big achievements, and big lessons that I think will help you too. Before, it's been all about client shows, and you will see some of those pop up in the future. But this, I want to give insight into myself, my own training, my own life, my clients, trained by Fox, and an insight into how I do things with clients, why I do things, and where we go from there. Now, the team this year have done phenomenal. Like, we've had so many great wins, whether it's been photo shoot wins, whether it's been stage wins, etc., etc. But the biggest thing we've seen this year is just the community grow in a very positive place. Like, we had our summer party and it was fantastic seeing the community, and many things what was said at this party is what's brought me to do this, right? They love that I am now sharing more of my life on social media, more of my training on social media, and it got me thinking that I need to do more of that because I don't need to hide away and do it. So today we are going to talk about some of my personal goals that I have for the rest of the year, my training, my current setup, my diet, and my own goals around that. So I'm going to give a little bit of an introduction to me to anybody that doesn't know me, and I'm going to try and keep this short. So I started coaching in 2018. This was just after I had a heart attack. If you scroll through the YouTube videos, you will find where I talk about that in another video. But I had a heart attack and it pretty much saved my life. As weird as it is, I was literally throwing everything I had at competing. I was in a job I hated. I was struggling to get by, and I said, you know what? No, I'm going to pour this passion into personal training. I continued personal training for 3 years, and lockdown hit. I continued personal training, but during lockdown, I had to obviously change everything and go into like an online space, which again was the best thing that happened to me. It was a risk, and it was a risk that paid off because I love it. It's enabled me to help so many more people. It's enabled me to change more people's lives, being not restricted to that 1 hour time gap per client, because you do that, you don't have time for the ones. I'm going to try and keep it short. So that brings me to where I am now, right? Obviously, the domino effect. You see success with clients, more people come along, they want that same success. But what I've always been driven to do, I remember when I was a PT, I'm rambling here. I remember when I was a PT and a group exercise. Within this group exercise, no one knew each other, no one liked each other, but generally after class, they all loved each other, and the motivation, the work ethic in these classes got better. And that's what I see here at Trained by Fox. Now, that's where my kind of life started, from the world of like personal training. Obviously, prior to all of that, I'd competed a couple of times. I never done really well, but I've always lived and breathed bodybuilding. And I think that's what always has attracted clients to me. I'm no Flex Lewis, but I do give this my all. But anyway, fast forward. I love the gym. I love coaching. I love wrestling. I love chilling out. I love having a cigar, and I love bringing people together. Now, coming away from that, this year has been fantastic. Like I said, more client show wins, more clients transforming their life. We have within the roster of so just to reiterate, right, So we've turned 1 person IFBB Pro, 3 people PCA Pro, 8 Pro cards total, 16 overall, 77 wins, and 145 top places. Now, none of that matters to anything, because within that, what is the biggest achievement has been is changing all these people's life. When people come to me, they struggle with confidence, they struggle with the ability to believe in themselves. And I do my utmost to transform that. I do my utmost to change that. And that is why those achievements was made. Now, we're going to fast forward even more now, because I will be here for hours. I want to talk to you about my plans, my training plan. And I'll get this on the screen. I've been using the RP Strength app to track it, so I can literally read you off my split. So I hit, on a Monday, I hit posterior pull. On a Tuesday, I rest. On a Wednesday, I hit push. On a Thursday, I hit pull. On a Friday, I hit legs. And because of the demand in coaching with shows, etc., I tend to give the weekend free. And we're very much focusing on, as you can see, we do a lower posterior session on a Monday and a lower session on a Friday, and then we literally hit push and pull. So you could say there's a little bit of an emphasis on my back, there's a little bit of an emphasis on my hamstrings and quads, etc., and then there's just tickling chest and so on and so on. I will talk about the split in a short moment. Now, nutrition. To keep things very simple, something I discussed was to keep my training day food and non-training day food the same, bar just changing the intra workout, just simply because there'll be days where coaching becomes, and it will always be my priority. I live and breathe this shit. Like I will always put coaching before anything. So I'll wake, have the same meal. If that day doesn't look too compact or too busy, I know I can get to the gym. I can just follow training day and add an intra. If suddenly for any reason I can't, I can just go, right, no gym today, and I've not messed up my diet. So yeah, we'll go into training. I want to set some performance goals. I want to drive things forward. And essentially, I want to have the utmost best amount of fun and make as much progress as I can. I feel like I'm really locked in at the moment, and that, and seeing the motivation that brings from my client base, like they see me doing this, they push themselves harder, and I think that's something that I think is a big win. Right, now I'm going to send you to the screen, and we're going to have a look over the training split and try and give you an insight into the plan. So, people, the training split. So this is the RP training app, right? We've done our first week. We did do Monday's session, however, we did happen to not film anything, or I didn't have this app. So, currently, for the training split, we are running a pull posterior on a Monday, as mentioned, a rest day on a Tuesday, push, pull, and lower. Now, across the week, we are currently hitting 8 sets for chest, 16 sets for back, 9 sets for delts, 11 for quads, 17 for glute hams, 10 for biceps, 6 for triceps, 3 for calves, and 6 for abs. Now, we can go over, we'll start with Wednesday. So, Wednesday's kind of plan is, first, we will start with a flat cable fly. I opt for just a pec deck here. I feel far more stable. I have a little niggle in my chest here that kind of anything cable work related always seems to be an issue. Then we have the plate loaded hammer strength. You'll see that these are 2 exercises that I have filmed here because I want to really focus on them. Now, we also have a flat press, and then we have a machine flat press here. Then we go into a cable lateral raise here. Dip machine, we're using the prime so we can just manage the load, etc. here, because with having these 2 presses and then some lateral raises, I do generally find that doing like free weight, body weight dips with a dip belt as such, I'm just not stable to do that. Then we've got a overhead extension and a leg press calf raise and some rope crunches within this session. So if you actually look at this, it's very much chest dominant. Like we have a fly, an incline press and a flat press, and then just 2 sets of 15 to 20 on the laterals. Now this session went really well this week. The numbers are set. I'll go into it again and just refine them and go from there. Going into the pull session, I'm still getting used to using this. So in the pull session, we have, first off, we have a machine row, a lat dominant unilateral. So I've been using the Nautilus Nitro row, single arm. So here we have 3 sets, just 3 straight sets, 2 within the 8 to 12 range, 1 the 12 plus. Then we have a machine pull down. I use the prime here. So within the prime, we're doing 25%. Load top pin 25% of the middle. So this was 80 on the middle peg and 20 on the top peg, making it 100. The 2 sets there, similar to the first one, 2 8 to 12, 1 12 to 15, didn't reach 15 here. So this was 16 in the middle and so on. Chest put T-bar row. Again, so just upper back row here, 80 for 7, 70 for 90, 70 for 90, Jesus. And then dumbbell row. So you can see that this very much is 2 initial movements to hit the aiming for it being more lat dominant, and then we're hitting that upper back here, and then more lat work here. So these ones here, the chest put dumbbell row is 2 rest pause sets. So you can see I got 10 and then 3 and then 8 and then 2. So it's a grueler one at this point. Rear delt flies, just 3 myo rep sets here. So I just chose a weight and aim to get between like 12 and 15. There was actually a 4th set I've not actually tracked here. It was around 41 for 15 again. Then a preacher kill and a hammer kill, and then some crunches. You'll see across all of these, there's certain exercises towards the latter end that I don't track because I just want to go to get as much out of it as I can and not to. I may track that, but generally speaking, that's not something I consistently do. I just try and focus on getting as much pump out of them as I can. If I go into tracking them, I get so caught up on the numbers, I don't get a connection with my arms, and they're pretty poor, right? Hip adduction, legs. So adductor first. Again, this is one that I have to be very mindful of. My upper thigh, like my groin area, there's a bit of a strain there when I go too heavy or kind of reach failure here. So I'm almost using this as like a pre warm up, so to speak, just to get some flood there. Seated ham kills, these went very well today. This was the stack for 11. My client Chloe jumped in. I managed to catch him on the leg extension and also put him through a set of leg press, which was pretty fucking awesome. And then I had my client Dan Dobson, who is competing later this year in there, so he disturbed me before the leg press, so I had to look over him. Anyway, leg extension, again, 3 sets here, 3 sets here. The leg extension is actually a myo rest pause set, so just do 1 single set and then rest for a bit and then go again. I do try and do multiple rests, but with how my legs are at the moment, I just can't handle that many kind of rest pauses. And as I go on, I'll keep pushing for more. We used, for the leg press, we used the Gym Leco hip press. Generally, Saturday this session was done and the gym was heaving, so I couldn't get on the Cybex I wanted to use. So we used this, which was very good. The depth of these was insane. The feel was insane. Then it is supposed to be here a squat variation like a hack or a pendulum, but I tried both. My hips wasn't having it. I do have arthritis in both hips, and I find I've struggled for a while. I will try and return back to them, but at the minute I'm running the Nautilus leg press, having the seat all the way back and just trying to kind of mimic a squat pattern, and these was beautiful as well. Lion leg kill, we used the prime, setting 5 on the cam, and then I've just wrote where I've done other things. 3 sets, basically the same weight. It is just a match rep set, and then we finish with some walking lunges. So this session was very good. Was some seated cable flyers, but again, just volumized out of that. Now Monday, I did do this session, but I didn't record it in here or record it all. So 3 sets of seated leg kill. It was just matching reps across all. And then at the moment I've got a hip hinge RDL. So I just do a block pull from around a 3-inch block. And these was beautiful. I'm going to be very much married to this exercise. And then a leg press for 2 sets. A machine pull down again, unilateral. 2 sets there, chest spotted row. We used the prime here. Well, we didn't actually use the prime, which was a Clifford, but we will use the prime going forward. And some rear delt flies and bicep kills to finish. Now, nutrition. So, as I mentioned earlier, we are following a setup where it's basically I just hit the same meals daily. So at the moment, and I'm not going to sit here and get a fancy meal up, but at the moment we are pretty much having 2 eggs in the morning with 200 ml of egg whites, spinach, 60 gram of salmon, peppers, some sourdough bread and strawberries to start. Then I've got chicken, an apple, a salad and a wrap. Not talking necessarily the mats across all because it's irrelevant. Your macros are your macros. I'm just telling you my food choices and I'll tell you the macros. Then pre-workout, I have 50 gram of whey, 125 gram of cream of rice, 20 gram of Lindt dark chocolate, and 100 gram of berries. Post-workout is chicken again, rice, beetroot, pineapple, and then pre-bed is Greek yogurt, whey protein, fruit, and almond butter. The difference being is in the intra, I have 100 ml of pomegranate juice for the pumps, 100 ml of coconut water for essentially hydration, 30 gram of highly branched cyclodextrin, 20 gram of essential amino acids, and 15 gram of creatine. So the kind of macros of that is like you've essentially got just 30 gram of carbs there to play with. Within supplementation, I am currently using a few bits from Engineered Muscle. So I've got the cardiac, I've got the glutathione, I've got the vitamin D, I've got the SLU, and then I use Immunopro from Supplement Needs in the morning, and then I use the Turbo Mag through the day, and I also use their sleep, their Dream Sleep, for Turbo Dreams, I think it's called. But yeah, that is where training is at. Right, we're going to go away from this because this is boring. So that is where my training, nutrition, etc. is at. And if you're still here, you're still watching, right, my goal is, again, I've probably said this in the past, is just be the best bodybuilder I can possibly be whilst improving as a coach and building an empire. The community is great. The team I have, I couldn't be happier with. But I'm not done. I'm not ready to say this is where I am, right? I want people to keep exceeding their expectations, right? They come to me with a goal and we just keep smashing out the park. This year alone, we still have, on top of my head, 12 or 13 people competing, and I can't wait to see it. Some of those are traveling from Saudi Arabia, traveling from all over the world. And yeah, it's going to be a big year. The next video I want to actually share is a video my clients put together for me for our summer party. It's a presentation they did of like incredible testimonials to myself, and they bought me a gift. I'll show you the gift in a moment, and it meant a lot to me. So I'm going to actually put that video up because I think it's important to share these as something I can look back at and make memories and so on. We're also going to do more videos on the supplementation stack and why. We're going to do videos on training with clients, looking at their training, breaking down client setups, why I do what I do, and also we have a client team day on Monday, so I'll probably film some of that, some of the check-ins there. But yeah, hang about, come back, subscribe, click the link, all of that jazz. And if you have any questions, drop me a message. I would happily help. Or even if you have any suggestions on videos we should film, then get them over.